Good afternoon, Salotine Edlarot. Say hi, say what's up. Doing Zinege, we're live once again. Yeah, so Chipewyan Text no hababagayas tiha for Chipewyan area. And say hi, say what's up. Good morning, good afternoon. Nahi all night TikTok Denet easy. Kanin at just like me, trying to change my ways with TikTok. But anyways, si Willis Janvier Hushe, Nintelas Tours in La Loche, Saskatchewan, Clearwater River Dene Nation band member Haskio and doing Zinige. Treaty 4 territory Zino Huntati Dana the Michael Hart. Hello. Say hi, say what's up. I want to give a shout out to the people who give stars, stars over time. Yeah, so, and, all of a sudden you get an email and it says, okay, it's pretty cool. And so if you can, I appreciate it. And if you can't, that's good too. But Masi Chona Hosi for the stars and continue to give. Masi. Dune Zinege, we are on chapter 5, story number 5. Chipewyan Text. So Badayu Nire, I'm gonna be live this week anyways at noon, 12 o'clock Central Standard Time. I said morning, TikTok seems to think otherwise. Maybe I'm gonna start by that, man. I'm just like Caesar, I'm really having a problem with TikTok. You just Boni 30, you can't stop. Belan do it. I don't know why. And then next thing you know, it's 1:30 in the morning. Say, okay, I'm going to bed. Then I don't get up till like 10. So maybe because it's on holidays, but school starts Monday. School honey. Maybe for some it started, eh? I know maybe some elementary said Gabi, I think. Or no, Thursday. Thursday school honey said but I'm trying to. It'll come back. But TikTok is its own addiction for sure. I mean, it's good, but not if you're staying up all night, you know. So walk with me. The cards, friends walk together. So TikTok, let's fight against it. My baby we slept in though. Didn't want the holidays. Yeah, you see, then it's or even it's just then someone is still sleeping in, and or even they don't say 2022, still 2021. I feel you. But anyways, Chipewyan Text no hababag iOS tia dun zinek ho dogo tsin asi ti degar no basuga wallew. If you can see, let me know anything. If you're just tuning in day, I'm gonna go live every day. These stories, they come from Fort Chipewyan area. At Zinege, I met with an elder. He kind of told me about some of these. There was a connection there. Dine orally what he knows, traditionally what he's been told, and then what I read off here, there was a connection there. So it's interesting. And share, keep coming back. 12 o'clock all this week anyways. Next week it'll change, but because I have school. And yeah, we'll get this going. Der tot ina bagayas tio. And si hare dat u det is egar dene aslia. because I cannot read Edr Dene Adet is a Begayas Tiedua. So with that, Masicho. Good afternoon, Teresa. Teres. We're doing okay, thank goodness. Don't go on TikTok. Yeah. TikTok by Nile. I mean it's good, but some people are very creative and their own way. Sire, I just denata sire the post easily a couple hashtags ut kunahi dene de planet or Lucia. And so yeah, Chipewyan Text. The way Ravenhead lived. In the summer, many people were staying together. Ravenhead lived there with the people. Suddenly, they said they were going on the warpath, so Ravenhead also went on the warpath with the people. Now, in the summer, when they go on the warpath, small birch cups are made for the people to drink water. They all have one tied to themselves in order to drink water. While they are on the warpath, they do not drink water lying down on their chests. It is said that it is unlucky for people to do that. Let me know in the comments, Durit Ihoni, if you ever heard of it. No Hanenes and Ozzy. The Tanti that Uhinai, the Aslazalgalka, Dele, Baba Birchstick is, pretty sure. Yit Babat Ido Leo, Baganada Balu, Kuti Dene Nick ahead Dao. Oh, Nick ahead Tion, lying down to head Dade. Babanezula Edila. So Ravenhead's younger sister also made a birch bark cup for him. It was tied to him, but every time they drank water, he said, "Lend me a cup so I can drink water." He said this every time. Finally, one person said, "Why does he say that? He has a cup." But every time we drink water, he says, "Lend me a cup." And when he said that, Ravenhead answered, "It is impossible for me to drink water from it because my close relative laughs at me." That was all he said. Kulon tuad or yana dloa. Bezin tu hesdan dua kasana das dlosi enila. Salot in his hana dloa. Hola. When they were traveling again, when they drank water, he said, "Lend me a cup." "You drink water from your own cup," they said. "We will not lend you a cup." And he said, "I cannot drink water in this cup. My close relative laughs at me with it," he said again. But he did not say how that was. Thus they went to war. After they had gone a long way, they suddenly saw dog ribs camped. Then they went a short distance away. They were going to make a rush at them early in the morning. When the daylight came, they sat waiting in the night a short distance away. They charged when daybreak came. They went across the lake toward them. When they were halfway across the water, Ravenhead was already there on the land above where dog ribs were staying. And soon he disappeared among the people. As soon as he disappeared among the people, they began crying out. But one couldn't tell that they were saying what they were saying. Wherever he went among the people, they called out. So the Tsanti Abin Danut Atlatalga Honey Dretai. Then Nisi Yanisi the Hula Jala. This being so, when the cry arrived at the place where the teepees were, the people shouting stopped. And suddenly Ravenhead was calling. Shouting out, he said, "That's all. The lass is sticking up without a leg," he said. They came to him there. Though he did not kill a single dog rib, he broke their left legs and right arms with a club. And they came to them with all of them still living in that way. Those who came killed all the dog ribs after Ravenhead had wounded them all. After they killed the dog ribs, they took everything out of theirs that was useful and started off again. So dured dog rib dene attain nanote. Cannot deni si gala. Kudi betanu betchanu chadan yesu. Kut abet dene nin del si di lain denila. Kut abet betsin si bet ora si. Tori ina de eltsio. Na hetil. After all, they were still going away from their home. When it froze, they started back home on the ice. They were heavily loaded because they were carrying many things which had belonged to the dog ribs they had killed. Therefore, they did not move fast. So the people did not go all together. They went along, one a good distance after the other. They went along in groups of 3 people or sometimes 4 or 5. Thus, they were going home. So Tano to din to la to nalt al hadalo to kontu bekum benenes in hatte. Then, without Ravenhead's knowledge, several said, "Why is it that when we fight, people cannot kill anyone before him? It must be known how he is. When he comes here, we'll race to those 2 people who are walking on the lake. We'll tell him they're enemies," they said. Thus they waited for him. Metaphysical abilities. Crowhead is one of the spiritual stories. Although the stories were gathered from Chip area, the stories are consistent with their elders. Oh, that's cool. Let's see, Daryl. Hollai, I zinige, Delany as in Antler Bahalialtia, said. Bannery Yahani that Uha, Honi Saltahe. Even Mi'kmaq territories in a Haya. You're not, there's a Cositi Honi Saltaheni. So, Duret, I Dene Yati hate DLC. Enemy Heliandu Diheni. When Ravenhead had come to the men, they said to him, Ravenhead, "What are you that always clubs the enemy to death before the other people? Now here we want to know all about you. So we'll race to those 2 people over there who are walking on the lake. Who will get them first?" They said. At once he said, "Okay." These stories complete. These are first-hand stories before the pandemic. Yeah. It's very old. Doing 2022 I'm gonna say 122 years. I'm gonna give it that 1900. Daryl, if you agree with me, then it's in I believe 1933. I mean, I'm just going by when it was documented. I'm gonna say documented Chipewyan area. But 1933 translate Al Yao, so it's older than that, 2, 3, maybe 1,000 years old. But for Chipewyan area, and okay, 1922, so 100 years old. And then 1933 he started. Okay, yeah, I remember that now. Okay, there that's haunty, honey. So they started running toward the 2 men. Before they had gone halfway to them, Raven had left the men behind with snow flying up in a line behind him. He ran up to the 2 men who were walking. He ran up to the first one and stabbed him in the middle of the back. Then he stabbed the other one. They both fell on one side of the trail of blood streaming out of their throats. He turned back to the people who were coming behind him. The last is sticking up without a leg, he said, calling out. Then they came to him. The people he had killed were lying there. Nothing could be done. They got angry at Ravenhead. You are not like a person. You have killed our relatives, they told him. Ravenhead said. You said, well, suppose them to be the enemy and race to them. You said to do what you would do if they were the enemy, so I have done what I would do if they were the enemy. I killed them. If you had not told me that, I wouldn't have done it, he told them. So it did Ganina Daryl no halhol spiritual being that's hanti at uyets enni ni si kuti adre adizen adre and lena Ravenhead so by a hoot ala henny he we're not then he no enemy helia henya korut Belarut azeni. So yatayani yaw hlain stelaku. Ish jesai. So Duradetsanti is a spiritual being. Must see Daryl. Then the dead men's relatives were sorry, and while they sat back by them crying, they said to Ravenhead, make these men come back to life. It is not difficult for you to kill people with your medicine. It shouldn't be hard for you to make them live again, they said to him. Then Ravenhead said, something is not killed so that when it is dead, it can be brought back to life again. Whatever man I have killed so that he will be dead, I will not bring back to life after I have killed him, he said. Already it had become difficult for them to just sit there because they were traveling. And the two men were already dead, so nothing could be done. So after only sitting there alongside of them, crying, they started off again. Ravenhead, come with us, they said to him. But he said, you are already angry with me, so I won't travel with you. So while he was still sitting there, they went away from him. So Dene Yati na duhenila. That he hasan dersi. So bet aba world yellow yet an old show yet as a head deal. Kuti kani eslatzalganas in deos in na tele benenazin. Thus they traveled again. Having traveled all day long, when the sun had nearly set, they heard people talking on the trail behind him. But in that direction there was no one who could be speaking. Only Ravenhead was in that direction. Who is he talking with? Let's wait here for him, they said. Suddenly they came out of the woods. There were 3 of them, and Ravenhead was walking between the men. The 2 of whom he had killed were walking along on each side of Ravenhead with nothing wrong. And Ravenhead was walking between them. There he was saying funny things, and the 2 men were laughing at him. Thus they came to the people, it is said. The people were happy that their relatives who had been killed had come to them with nothing wrong. So that's Hanti. Now it is said that up to then, since they had left their homes, Ravenhead had not eaten even once. Now, since there was no caribou, there was no meat. So Ravenhead said, I'll go ahead with you again. Follow my trail. I'm going back to my home ahead of you. He said, as soon as he said that, he started off. It was impossible to say anything against him. People were afraid of him because he was not like people. So they traveled on this trail where he had gone. Suddenly, in a small clearing in the woods, many of his tracks were all around. His tracks went all over, crossing each other in all directions. Having come there, they said, "What has Ravenhead done here to make so many tracks?" When they examined his tracks, there were some places between his tracks where the snow had not been touched. A few weasel tracks could be seen there. Otherwise, there were no other animals' tracks to be seen. Then they found he had started off again. They went after him on his tracks. While they were following his tracks in the bush, suddenly the ones who went in front started running back, calling out, "Big bear." They all started running back. Suddenly one said, "There is no use in running. Let's try to kill it with our spears. Let's wait here for it. When it gets here, we'll all spear it at the same time. From both sides of the trail, we will probably kill it." So itana delisi that santi sik anywho delu no hatahiyare kuti da betracks on in delu and tsera si the dinner in nilu kuja sasizin na paggal saschiyazin yazan hen yao aya thol the heni bashuli. So they went into ambush. They sat there a little while, but there was no bear. One person said, "How come if a bear sees something move, he doesn't run away from it?" "It seems you people didn't meet the big bear," he said. Then the person who had seen it said, "It is a big bear. It is not far. I walk up to it. I could also see all of its teeth," he said. "It would be good to go look at it," they said. So again, the two men started to it. Again, they ran back frightened. They came back to the people saying, "Big bear." But there was still no big bear. When they had done that, then they said, "It seems that the big bear has killed Ravenhead, so it won't come away from him. Let's go see. Let's go see well how it is." They said, so they walked to it. They were walking along the trail through the bush. Suddenly they came there to where the trail turned. There, close, the big bear stood with its mouth open, but one person who was brave saw, when he looked carefully, that the big bear's mouth was popped open with a stick. Immediately, he said, "It seemed that the big bear is not living. He has his mouth open, but it does not move," he said. So it's in a hot deal, you see. Um, don't do test it. Let's see. I want to find out. Oh, look, Kudre. I'm gonna say the ses. Huh. Good luck, the other Duna. So I don't know. Daryl Flumerist on it. The do translation maybe, but on it can go over it. But Sash Choazan, yeah. But Kudlan do that is an SNRC. But I will bagan out here. So he looked at it a little while, but since it didn't move, he went up to it. When he got up to it, oh, okay. But since it didn't move, he went up to it. When he got up to it, he found out that the big bear was dead. All the people came to it. Ravenhead had killed a big bear with a horn club. He clubbed its jaw in two and cut the only the fat between its legs. That was all he took from it. Thus he stood the big bear behind the trail with its mouth propped open with a stick. That's what he did, it is said. Then after that, Ravenhead had made a fire. There he put fat from between the bear's legs on a stick. Then he put the cup about which he used to say his relatives were laughing at him under the bear fat to catch the dripping grease. Thus he started off again without eating, it is said. Now the people cut up the big bear because they were hungry. They ate well on the bear meat. Afterwards, they started off again. They went along on Ravenhead's tracks. So they were going toward his home against the cold west wind. They went out onto the lake where their houses were. They came onto the lake on the lower end of the lake where the west wind drifts on the shore. Something could be seen in the frozen snowdrift beside the trail. They saw a man's penis sticking out of the snow. One said, "What is it?" "It looks like a man's penis." "It is sticking out of the snow," he said suddenly. "It is a man's penis. It is my penis," Ravenhead said. There he was waiting for the people. They said to him while he was lying in the snow, "Come with us. We'll go home together," they said. But he said, "No. When you get home, tell my younger sister to come here to me," he said. So they went home without him. Then when these people got home, they said, Ravenhead said his younger sister must go to him. He is lying over there at the end of the lake, in the snow with his penis sticking out. He says that from there, they said. It's kind of weird. Ravenhead's mother and father said, "He is not like people. He will do something to his younger sister." "She won't go to him," they said. Ravenhead had said. "Don't prohibit her coming to me." Tell them, "Well, how am I lying here?" They said before her. Then the young girl also said, "I won't go to my elder brother." Her mother and Falso also said so. One person went back to Ravenhead. "Your younger sister says she will not come to you." Your mother and father also said no. I'm not even gonna translate it. Ravenhead was not happy and said quickly, "My younger sister must come to me. She must see my penis," he said. "My mother and father must also not say no." Quickly, he said. The person who had gone to him returned and said this. Now the old man got angry and said, "Ravenhead is not like people. His younger sister will not go to him lying like that," he said. Then Ravenhead again, and he got angry again. Well, they told Ravenhead again, and he got angry. Suddenly he got up. When he broke out of the frozen snowdrift, he got up and started off to their home, with the snow flying up behind him. Then they saw Ravenhead coming to where they were staying. They said, "Ravenhead is not like people. He'll do something to his younger sister." And all piled up on top of her to hide her. As soon as Ravenhead walked in, his younger sister's foot was sticking out from under the people who were lying on top of each other. As soon as he saw that, he grabbed it. He pulled it. He pulled on it. Because there were many people lying on top of her, it was difficult to pull her out. He tore her whole leg out. He just walked out and threw his younger sister's leg one side in the snow. Then he went back home. So he bedeze kana atjanisi kuye betene nilchala. When he got home, his mother came after him crying, "Your younger sister is pitiful. Bring the one you have killed back to life again for me. Your father and I are pitiful. Only your younger sister works for us. You have killed her." His mother said, crying, but talking to Ravenhead was not like talking to people. After that, his father also came to him. He said it again, but Ravenhead did not say anything. Later, his father and mother both came to him again, and they asked him, "So, but days a client Thursday. Oh, what do you guys think of this story?" Suddenly, Ravenhead got up. He said, "You two go home. That is enough. I'm getting disgusted with your noise." He said. Ravenhead walked out, and where he had thrown his younger sister's leg in the snow, it was frozen. He took it again and walked back into his father's house. Then he went up to where his sister's corpse was lying. Throwing her leg to her, he said, "Get up." His younger sister sat up immediately. Then turning to his father and mother, Ravenhead said, "You said you love your daughter. You said you do, but you don't love her. If you love her, you'll talk to her well. If you had told her how to be good, she wouldn't have made a birch bark cup for me with her pubic hair. She doesn't know how to be good, so she made a birch bark cup for me with her pubic hair. If it had not been me, if she had done that to someone and he drank water from that cup, it would have suddenly killed him. Now, if I hadn't seen it, it would have killed me, but I saw it. And she has tried to kill me, but I didn't die from it. From now on, she won't do that again to people, or she won't live herself. To prevent that, you talk to her. Well, if you love your daughter," he said, and walked out again, it is said. Huh, wow. That, I believe, is the end of the story. I think. Oh, yeah, this continues from the other one. So, what do you guys think? Oh, okay, dialect is slavey. Okay. The phonetics and linguistics. That's why we couldn't read it. So, Atlant Adder Chipewyan story, I guess, passed on. Excuse me. Passed on, Dokesi. That's not what I want. That's what I want. You know, the Tsati I thought I'll card deal, you see. Just kind of go over. Now you kind of know that another the Tsati Dene Yati. Could I thought I'll card deal, you see. Dene Nisin Yao. There the left side and then bet anu bet Shenshadai Yesu Kuet I Dene Yani de Sayelte. Torliu den sal deadline bet in sinaltsiunt abet ori aulisi. Die benenne ze na hattil. Ku ei dene I ye denere nihilasi ei de tanti. Edre nek na dene chela quazo nedit ade no enemiat is a herudiu belarul aze. Die de tanti hani. So yani yo. Yethe. Na pagale til het yumet aze. Alt klasi. Ea Thailde kude ba duo jala. I tu yaho on then see. Kunat den belot in thal deo. Diega hetsa. Kuti den thal dere di nile na due yes new. So it's an old joy it's as a deal, not deal. Kuti I the tanti nan dehe gale. Kuti hanade dalu e denede altidit ani. Kuti abanorel iu. Tani danzi heid del chin yauze. E det sant hui not dene da chaan denisi. So balot in an island na. Kuti gani, I'm just gonna go back a bit. That there Tatsalgala Katet Delu Babat Ido Leni Birch de Kisa. I'm pretty sure key. But anyways, Birch Cup Babahole. Kuyi da the Tanti to Daneotla or a K. Kuyi plant ayets in a Dailani then. Eya you're a crow. Salot in Sanada Dloahani. So I eat ane nani deja. So could do a ballot in an isle nasi not dene. Nahte benenzen. Kuha baad desu ay di dat santi yatahaya. En nada hayao. Don't udo gets a gasi don't u yeden renilu. As a denila dan dat santi. Aya chinya yurt ay not dene chinya ze azu sase ya. It's anai. Yet ahal kadanahi. Na pay asan yet. Honnaza denzen. The Klundo di. Okay, Saul diani. At unu delu der no it's in a spear day. I'm gonna say no. I'm not even gonna attempt. I'm gonna find out. But spear day. Ayahu gohani. I'm gonna say Egor. But kuntu Saul diani. Kuti hen yera isas. So yezen a hat jaw di na the kona ja. The chinya is in yinte. Kusses allt annað hlandur sem það er tant í hlænildur. Berk að í hilt sjúlari. Da hilt sjújans að sesk að bet að í hlýsa. Því náttúr chetjandi hejá. Kua nedashem ben kuni delu ku det tant. This is the part I don't really want to. Det tant bet en nedda í konu tilje. Nichts I chonatschernia. One side of the Dazi then. Dazi nichts I west side. Nick etien. Betsi. Belinglinge he ahel. Kontu bedeze kalti. Bedeze kalti. Tulle. Okay. Bedeze kalti so in line I not dene benenes in jaba coin. Kuban banju beta beti kwe in la yelni. Deni line. Sana no inia san yelni kosi u yao san bedeze. So a couple times konu yana Joe in la hezadi. Kui klon ye kalti san bedeze. Klon hot u ya tilja hetium betsi. He ahel. Bedul as a he ahel. Ehel. In lana ze dia netikwe denene lila. Sana no inia aso. Tiete Kosi na jaku kosi ka has a disa. Kuid I the tanti betikwe both neither sana no inyasa. Danila ni. The tanti Danila. Eya Torlunt I denenat deni si geze. Nenel geze de Torlunt pile up a ja. I the tanti deni yasi but deset ane he. So it's ane hil chua. It's ane genil chel heinster. Cause the ans deni gedelt in et dada. So beti kwe hilche. Ne deset heinster so. Ninth na. In lael just like the first time. Ninth nade. No basont ile. So beti kwe. One day. A belien. Naal na. Kuti. Yenelt hensi yorelt aha. So bel ja bedesen eigentlich nanisi. Kudret I kudret nelien kui betazen er ya banshu. Nelien banin tade. Andu banin tadi ne. Kole banin tadi le yesni. Banin tade te bahal yeneltiha. Esti takwa nezuelien ninde. Konu bahal yeneltiu. Edert eyes a baheltien. Betsi bega ayultsileni heni. Eya takuna zuhali oliele. Edrit I birch barked I heltsinsi. I'm gonna say key for some reason. But but in pubic hair hal yeltsieni. So I bega. As he helen in de kantain lan in de and it eyes into head down. A denatlain there any. Kola di hes ilen in de si hlail there any. Kola hes ia. So nelien sai thasen theory zau. Kola di but in hlail there. Kola dun kono wat delela. Kona jade ti dine bedeha. Sal diha. Eyat I kona deherin in le bahal yaul tinelien. As in tirent eighth. Zoom in. That's the end of the story. I was just recapping, translating Dene Ahusni. So, Edlanuthen Yidantu Honi. Dene Ade, Edzineke, I'm going to share something with you. Dene Ade, Narubagaya Tiu, it's Dene Husniu. Te Dene Yati. And, I want to share a quote there. I'm going to share it on my page here in a bit. And it's very important, Senator. Okay. Edred is and that it kind of goes together. Edred Morris ne yeli ya te nanots in der satu dene delaneote. When I talk to some of my friends or young people about Louis Uriah's prophecies, it's very different in English than in my own language. I can really express what I'm talking about in my language because when I use my language, it comes from the heart because it's mine, and I can make you feel what I'm feeling because it's mine. But if I use English, I couldn't do that. That's why our language is so important. A totina bagaya tikole kudenaya bagaya tiajao. I just I got more connected to the Uben Resniajai. And I hope I rest honestly and even another day to go back at the episode that yenere niha no haya tienet u tebet uril au but asi haneri new estiesa beneridio connected all around us. Natu honi because Saru hin Deni Londala. Dene Sanat de or Dene de the people of the land. So yeah, it's very important here. When I worked at FSIN, we had gathered all Dene elders. They all shared one story, little depictions. When they put the stories together, you only get a quarter of the stories that you just read. That is why I'm so fascinated with it. I wish I had found it earlier and shared with those elders at the time. When reading the stories, there are creation stories, and many have teachings behind them. Two-eyed seeing is the key of both Dene and English. Yeah, Nas and scenery nila, and Daryl Hunter, Daryl, a big business guy. Saiz is on Easter or Far Easter. So don't do I know it shortens the story to a Thabagai too. Then a other side paragraph can be in one sentence. And I just want to end off at Dirt Morris Nayeli Bahalyas Tia. I've gotta do some work. And if you get a chance, Delany at Village of Widows Hulye. It's a documentary. Atlatzalgala, World War One or two, one, I believe. But back then, Denesushline, Delany Satut, they helped the government mine their uranium for atomic bomb. It's a documentary. Village of Widows, Hulye. I'm gonna watch it too. And check it out. And I want to share a couple words. Dinede for white man, they say mula. Delinatin, mula. Just like mula. Mula. I think I'm saying it right. But the origin of that is tot inehit and the mula. Bellagela ana hetinia. So that means ring on hand. Mula means a. That's what it means in Delane. Satu, you know. So tot ineo toban la dene. If anybody is listening, if you can share with me the origin. Tuot ine, maybe they came from the water. And Mulawa is the original white man, French people. And then Denewa is original people. So the Nuni Dene Suhline, Kunu now the Dene Suhline is all people. Denede is a person. Denede is the land of the people, or people of the land. So it's very interesting. You know, a researcher now. Kind of, I don't even know if I'll be a social worker. But so, you know, masi chona hosun doing sir with Aussie salot in a Tia. Tia, the Rockforts people. Tia. Tia. Hey, doing zinik and it's on funo sledero. I'll call you. I'll chat a bit. Sounds good. Okay. Good afternoon. Doing zinig in a barliano. Gabi, I'll be live with Linda St. Pierre. Holy. Let me end her off there. Linda St. Pierre. Yeah. Lac Brochet, Manitoba. Lac Brochet, Manitoba. At 8 p.m. at dinner. She's in Vancouver, so it's got to be at 8 p.m. It's 2 hours behind. So join me live, Gabi, Central Standard Time, 8 p.m. But I will be live again, Gabi, to go over the next part of the Tsanti at noon. So noon hour, I'll be live all this week with the Chipewyan Text. See how much of it we can get through. So with that, Masi Chona Hosun Salot in it. And if you're ever in Lalash, get yourself one of these Lalash Lakers. This is Larry the Laker. Get yourself one of them sweaters, hoodies, all kinds of merch there at the Dene High School. So, Masi Cho, Dunzinigino Basuga, Wali de Gare Salotina. And I hope you enjoyed the Honino ba Chipewyan Text. Dene Text Udiole Dene Text. Oh, cool. I'll see you. I'll chat with you later. Have a good day. See Willis Javia Hushe Nintelas Tours in Lalanche, Saskatchewan. Clearwater River Dene Nation band member Heslio and Dun Zinige Dogas in Nohal Huntati Dare. Treaty 4 territory. Masi Cho Salodina. See you tomorrow.